Greetings, algo artisans. We're going to jump straight into the charts. We're going to take a look at Uniswap today. Of course, there's some news around it, big moves in the charts. But before we get there, just a brief look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. There's not a lot to talk about, so there's not going to be a lot of time spent on these charts. Basically, Bitcoin itself does look like it wants to go grab some liquidity from the top side of this consolidation. We got that liquidity data right off the Kingfisher.io, and the Kingfisher.io is very valuable. There is a link to this website in the description. It's a referral link, and I believe you get a discount for using it. It's a great way to get a lot of things, among them liquidity. We got live data. If this was like Forex or stocks or anything, pretty sure you got to have a $20,000 a month Bloomberg terminal to have this kind of data. But with crypto, we get it because the blockchain, right? So back to the charts here. Bitcoin itself, I do believe that if it does break downwards and goes, maybe it'll grab this liquidity at the top, but then I think it will head back down and grab this liquidity right below $50,000. And I think a break of $50,000 will be the beginning of a move down. And according to the Kingfisher, as you just saw, there are plenty of liquidity nodes all the way down to the high 30s. I don't know that it's going to make it down that far. I think that this liquidity right here at the bottom of the screen here is where price might go to in the most bearish scenario. However, it's hard to say. Anything can happen. Just depends on what happens in the market. There usually is a pullback before the halving, so we got to watch for that. Let's take a quick look at Ethereum. There's not a lot of news there, and I mean news chart-wise. So Ethereum is consolidating around 3,000, and we talked about it. I predicted this was going to happen earlier this week, right? I talked about this enough times. 3,000 was kind of a target where I would look to take off some profit. You can see I've already marked out this range here, right? And I think 3,400 is the next level, and I do think price will probably pop out to the upside and grab 3,400. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. Just a quick review showing that what I talked about is happening, all right? Anytime you can predict the future with charts, you can make money. And that's what I'm doing over here. So, watch this. And if you're over at algofactory.tech, I do this for a lot of different charts, Forex, crypto, gold, everything. So let's look at Solana. Solana found a little bit of support. We're starting to see some older liquidity zones here. We have a larger range been going on all year long, the last 2 months, and we have this short-term bit of a range that happened for just a few days back in early February. And it looks as if price has gotten a little bit of liquidity from the top of that area and may be forming a new range. For now, it's a little hard to say what's going to happen with Solana, aside from the fact that it is going sideways. And sideways in a bullish market usually means it will pop up later. What might drag it down is if Bitcoin itself goes down. Bitcoin takes a hard fall, then we will see Solana possibly do the same thing. But it is so hot, I think that Solana might still outperform. However, most altcoins take a harder fall than Bitcoin when Bitcoin falls. There are exceptions to this. Let's take a look at Kaspa. I am looking for a new entry on Kaspa, and like the rest of these coins, it looks as if my predictions are playing out. So as you can see, I drew this a few days ago. I believe it was Monday or Tuesday, and I've been looking for a new entry on Kaspa, and we might be in that territory. These are the liquidity charts that I drew a few days ago on these charts, and nothing has changed. I do believe that price will either grab liquidity at this very shallow pullback because it is so bullish and it will continue up, or it may pull back a little bit lower. Some of what has to do with that is going to be Bitcoin and Bitcoin's price action. And some upside price targets for traders, not for holders, but for traders. We're going to look at 21 cents and about 24 cents. 21 and 24 cents is where I would look at for some trading profits. This is not a buy and hold scenario. Also, remember, nothing we say is investment advice. Any of these coins, any of these trades, you can lose them. They can go to zero. You need to talk to a licensed investment advisor before risking your money on the markets because it is dangerous to do that. Okay, we're going to take a look at Uniswap next, which brings us to the show's title today, Uniswap Rug Pull. So the reason I'm concerned about a possible rug pull on Uniswap has to do with the actual news that came out. So let's take a look at the article and talk about why Uniswap ran up, and then we'll take a look at the chart. And this is extremely brief. There's not a lot to talk about here. So here's an article on CoinDesk. The title is Uniswap's Uni jumps 60% on proposal to reward token holders in major governance overhaul. The keyword here is proposal. In fact, let's just read it straight from the article here. It says Uniswap's governance token Uni gained 60% after proposal by a key Uniswap Foundation leader to overhaul the protocol's decision making. So a key leader proposed a change in the governance, right? That doesn't mean that it's actually happened. So this is people speculating on something that has not occurred yet. We don't know enough about the structure of Uniswap to know how much pull this key Uniswap Foundation leader has. So what's gone on is the price basically doubled. I know this article says 60%, but we're going to jump into the charts right now, right after we define this a little bit better, and we're going to talk about more more about 100% is what it looks like to me. But long story short, this proposal, should Friday's overhaul proposal be approved in a community vote, it would enable the permissionless and programmatic collection of protocol fees and distribute them pro rata to Uni token holders who have staked and delegated their vote. And this is pretty much all we need to see here. Long story short, you buy Uni, you own Uni, you stake Uni, you get paid if this goes through based on the protocol fees, right? The more Uni you own, the more fees you make. So this is obviously causing people to want to buy Uniswap. Uniswap, in my opinion, is a good token anyway. It's a massive, massive protocol, lots of fees. It's where the meme coins meme. And so I think it's just a really good bet in general. Would I buy it at the current level? Maybe. I mean, for a long term, yeah, I'd say Uniswap is probably going to do really well in the bull market. It's already doing well, but I think it could continue to do well. I think there might be a pullback, and the reason there would be a pullback or a rug pull, as per the title of the show today, is that what if the proposal did not go through? So let's take a look at Uniswap. Okay, so here's the chart on the daily, and you can see I have some levels marked out. Now, I'm not really truly able to use a Fibonacci retracement tool because we haven't really seen the kind of retracement I would want to see for us to say this has been like a full 382 retracement. What do I mean by all that? Okay, so we go from the bottom to the top of our move here. Arguably, we have seen a 382 almost. When it first moved up, price went back down very quickly, just about grabbed that 382. So one could argue we have seen it from a lower time frame standpoint. But if I were looking at it from a higher time frame standpoint, I would want to see a bit more of a move down. I'd want to see price come down and grab the current 382. Now, if it touches that 382, then these targets to the upside are a bit more valid. We're not going to focus on these targets, but reasonably 16.5 and 14.3. However, if I were to look at structure as opposed to Fibonacci extensions that have not quite been defined for my rules, I would be looking at $20, right? Actually 18.3. Because if you go back in time, and this is going to be hard to see on this chart, but if you go back in time, there is some structure built on the way back down in 2022 that defines 1830 as where price might turn around. So 1830 or even $20, those are some decent numbers. This is another structural point at 19.8. That's to the upside. But what if we find out that this proposal doesn't go through? I would expect price to erase most of these gains. I would expect a pretty hard sell-off and price to head back down to this liquidity right here, where you see this yellow box on the bottom here, where price consolidated before it went up, before that news hit. Decent little floor right around 780, and there could even be a stronger reaction to take it deeper, but I like this as a downside target. If in fact the news came through that the vote happened and did not go through, then I would be looking, if I was fast enough, looking to short this and have targets at 750. It could be that if the news came out and I was not on top of it, I would look for maybe a pullback like this and then short that. So that's the way I would play Uniswap on that. I hope this was helpful. Please come to algofactory.tech. We teach people how to do all of these things. Fibonacci this and indicator that. All this stuff seems complex, but it's not. It's actually rather simple. And we teach people how to trade, and we teach them how to extract money out of the market on a regular basis. Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is always successful. Your probability for success is really based on your effort, because we have done this. I mean, this is something that myself and my business partner have done for years now. So we understand how to build these things. We understand how to win in the market, and we are imparting the knowledge on people to build their own system. It's a beautiful thing. Come check us out. And in the meantime, trade your job, upgrade your life. We'll see you on the next one.